Are you asleep?
Yes.
What are we going to do about Eustace?
Oh. Send another search party out for him in the morning.
It is morning.
Barely. The sun's only just come up. Go back to sleep.
Do you think he's all right?
Ah.
I keep thinking about that dragon the search party saw.
The dragon was dead, Lucy. It was old and lying at the bottom of a valley. At least that's what Captain Drinian said. And he thought it was unlikely to have been killing anyone before that. Now go to sleep.
I can't. Oh.
What's the matter?
It's Caspian and Drinian and Reepicheep.
Oh, and you're both awake. Good.
Is something wrong? Or are you awake worrying about Eustace too?
Well, I'm afraid we have another problem. Now, Lucy, you must show great constancy.
Why?
A dragon has just flown over the treetops and lighted on the beach.
Oh.
Another dragon?
It would seem so.
And I'm afraid it is between us and the ship.
Arrows are no use against it, and I know that much. And they're not at all afraid of fire.
With your Majesty's leave?
No, Reepicheep. You are not going to attempt a single combat with it. And unless you promise to obey me in this matter, I'll have you tied up. We must just keep close watch and go down to the beach and give it battle. I will lead. King Edmund will be on my right and the Lord Drinian on my left.
Aye.
There are no other arrangements to be made.
Perhaps it will go away.
It'll be worse if it does, because then we shan't know where it is. If there's a wasp in the room, I'd like to be able to see it.
If we're going to do it, I'd like to get it over with.
Right. Swords to the ready, then. Now for it, friends.
All right, Lucy. You should stay back now.
It doesn't look threatening at all.
Don't be fooled. These beasts are clever.
But look, it's retreating.
That's odd. Normally, it'd be blasting us with fire and smoke as a show of strength.
What's it wagging its head like that?
No, wait. It's nodding.
This is most strange. There's something coming from its eyes.
Oh, it's crying. Those are tears.
I shouldn't trust to that, Ma'am. That's what crocodiles do, to put you off your guard.
Wagged its head when you said that. Just as if it meant no. Look, there it goes again.
Do you think it understands what we're saying?
This discourse is a waste of time. Dragon, can you understand speech?
I've never heard of a dragon that understands speech.
Dragon, will you speak to us?
No.
Then it is idle to ask your business. But if you will swear friendship with us, raise your left foreleg above your head.
I never thought I'd live to see such a thing. Friends with a dragon.
Oh, but look. There's something wrong with its leg. Oh, the poor thing. That's probably what it was crying about. Perhaps it came to us to be cured, like in that story. You know the one.
Androcles and the lion?
Yes. I could put a drop of the cordial on it.
Well, be careful, Lucy. It's a very clever dragon, but it may be a lion.
Show me your paw. I might be able to cure it with this. Just a drop or two round the bracelet. There. Is that better? Good.
Wait, look.
Look at what?
The design on the bracelet. A little hammer with a diamond above it, like a star.
I've seen that before.
Seen it? Why, of course you have. It is the sign of a great Narnian house. This is the Lord Octesian's arm ring.
Then this dragon is a villain. Have you devoured a Narnian lord?
It says it didn't.
Perhaps this is the Lord Octesian, turned into a dragon, under an enchantment.
It needn't be either. All dragons collect gold. But I think it's a safe guess that Octesian got no further than this island.
Dragon, are you the Lord Octesian? No. Are you someone enchanted? Someone human, I mean.
Oh, good heavens. It was a human? I wonder who.
Oh, Lucy, you don't think...
Oh, it could be.
What are you two thinking?
dragon? You're not Eustace by any chance? Oh, don't cry. Poor Eustace.
Lucy tried hard to console him, and even screwed up her courage to kiss the scaly face. And nearly everyone assured Eustace that they would all stand by him, and many said there was sure to be some way of disenchanting him, and they'd have him as right as rain in a day or two. But in the days that followed, no one came any closer to knowing how to help Eustace. Eustace, however, became a help to everyone else. He flew over the whole island and found that it was all mountainous and inhabited only by wild goats and droves of wild swine. Of these, he brought back many carcasses as provisions for the ship. And one day he brought back to camp a great tall pine tree which he'd torn up by the roots in a distant valley and which could be made into a capital mast. And in the evening, if it turned chilly, he was a comfort to everyone, for the whole party would come and sit with their backs against his hot sides and get well warmed and dried. It was clear to everyone that Eustace's character had been rather improved by becoming a dragon, and the pleasure, which was quite new to him, of being liked, and still more of liking other people, was what kept Eustace from despair. For it was very dreary being a dragon. He shuddered when he caught sight of his own reflection as he flew over a mountain lake. He hated the huge bat-like wings, the saw-edged ridge on his back, and the cruel, curved claws. He was almost afraid to be alone with himself. And yet he was ashamed to be with the others. On the evenings when he was not being used as a hot water bottle, he would slink away from the camp and lie curled up like a snake between the wood and the water. On such occasions, greatly to his surprise, Reepicheep was his most constant comforter. The noble mouse would creep away from the merry circle at the campfire and sit down by the dragon's head and would tell him the great stories of Narnia. But of course what hung over everyone like a cloud was the problem of what to do with their dragon when they were ready to sail. They tried not to talk of it when he was there, but he couldn't help overhearing. They discussed trying to lie him down on one side of the deck, shifting all the stores to the other side for balance, or towing him, or whether or not he could keep up by flying, or wondering how to feed him. Poor Eustace realized more and more that since the first day he came on board, he had been an unmitigated nuisance, and that he was now a greater nuisance still. One night, when it was clear that the Dawn Treader was ready to continue its voyage eastward, Eustace decided to put everyone's mind to rest by simply leaving. His plan was to hide somewhere on the island so that they would have to leave without him. He made this decision without any of the self-pity the old Eustace would have felt. This new Eustace was convinced it was the right thing to do, even if it meant a lifetime of loneliness as a dragon on that island. He was lying awake in a secluded spot, wondering what on earth would become of him, when he looked up and saw a huge lion coming slowly towards him. There was no moon that night, but there was moonlight where the lion was. It came nearer and nearer until it was close enough to look straight into his eyes. "Follow me." And Eustace thought,
Follow you? To where?
"Follow me." So Eustace got up and followed it a long way into the mountains, and finally to the top of one where there was a garden with trees and fruit. In the middle of it was a large well, like a round bath with marble steps going down into it. The water was as clear as any he'd ever seen in his life.
The water looks so soothing. If I could get in there and bathe, it would ease the pain in my leg.
You must undress first.
But I can't undress, because I don't have any clothes on.
Still, you must undress first.
Then it occurred to Eustace that dragons are snaky sorts of things, and snakes can cast off their skins.
That's what you mean. I can shed these scales.
So Eustace started scratching himself, and the scales began to come off. He scratched deeper, and instead of just scales, his entire skin started peeling off. After a minute or two, he stepped out of it. He could see it lying there beside him, looking very nasty. But it was a most lovely feeling, and he started to go down into the well for his bath. But just as he was going to put his feet into the water, he looked down and saw...
Oh, my feet are hard and rough and wrinkled and scaly, just like they were before. Can I scratch that off too?
So he scratched and tore again, and this underskin peeled off beautifully, and out he stepped and left it lying beside the other one. He went down to the well for his bath. But once again he looked down and saw...
Oh dear, how many skins do I have to take off?
So he scratched away a third time and got off the third skin just like the other two and stepped out of it. But as soon as he looked at himself in the water, he knew it was still no use.
It won't come off.
You will have to let me help you.
You'll take it off? But how? You mean with your claws?
Lie down on your back.
Desperate now, Eustace agreed and lay flat down on his back. The very first tear the lion made was so deep that he thought it had gone right into his heart. And when the lion began pulling the skin off, it hurt worse than anything Eustace had ever felt. The only thing that made him able to bear it was the pleasure of feeling the skin peel off. But this skin was unlike the three Eustace had peeled off himself. This was thicker and darker. Soon Eustace was as smooth and soft as a peeled switch, and smaller than he had been. And then the lion caught hold of him.
Ow! Be careful. I'm a bit tender.
And threw him into the water. After a while, the lion said,
Come out. You must dress now.
Oh. But I don't know where my clothes are.
I will dress you in the clothes I have prepared.
Though Eustace could never explain how, the lion dressed him. And then, suddenly, Eustace was back in a wood near the camp, certain he had had a dream.
It wasn't a dream, Eustace. I'm certain of that. Now, come on. Let's go and tell the others the good news.
No, wait, Edmund. I'm still not ready to meet the others just yet.
Whatever you wish. I say, I am glad to see you, looking yourself again. You must have had a pretty beastly time.
It's true. I've been miserable. But tell me, why are you so certain I didn't dream about the lion?
Well, there are your clothes for one thing.
Oh.
And you've been, well, undragoned for another.
What do you think it was then?
I think you've seen Aslan.
Aslan? I've heard that name mentioned several times since we joined the Dawn Treader, and I felt, I don't know what. I hated it. But I hated everything then. Oh, and by the way, I'd like to apologise. I'm afraid I've been pretty beastly.
That's all right. Between ourselves, you haven't been as bad as I was on my first trip to Narnia. You were only a jackass, but I was a traitor.
But who is Aslan? Do you know him?
Well, he knows me. He's the great lion, the son of the Emperor over the sea, who saved me and saved Narnia. We've all seen him. Lucy sees him more often. And it may be Aslan's country we're sailing to.
That's Caspian's horn.
Everyone must be getting up.
Is it morning already?
It is. And we should go back to camp. They'll be wondering about us. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Now.
Great was the rejoicing when Edmund and the restored Eustace walked into the breakfast circle round the campfire. And now, of course, everyone heard how he had become a dragon in the first place and how the lion restored him to his true self. It would be nice, and fairly nearly true, to say that from that time forth Eustace was a different boy. To be strictly accurate, Eustace began to be a different boy. He had relapses when he could be very tiresome, but most of these times we shall not notice. The cure had begun. The Dawn Treader, remasted, repainted, and well stored, was ready to sail. Before they embarked, Caspian caused to be cut on a smooth cliff facing the bay the words,
Dragon Island, discovered by Caspian X, King of Narnia, in the 4th year of his reign. Here, as we suppose, the Lord Octesian had his death.
People wondered whether the other dragon had killed the Lord Octesian several years ago, or whether Octesian himself had been the old dragon. The Lord Octesian's arm ring had a curious fate. Eustace didn't want it and offered it to Caspian, and Caspian offered it to Lucy. She didn't care about having it.
Very well then. Catch as catch can.
Up went the arm ring, flashing in the sunlight, and caught and hung on a little projection in the rock of the cliff face just above the inscription. No one could climb up and get it from below, and no one could climb down to get it from above. And there, for all we know, it is hanging still, and may hang till that world ends.
Captain Drinian, to the ship. It's time we set sail.
Aye, sire.
Everyone was cheerful as the Dawn Treader sailed from Dragon Island. They had fair wind as soon as they were out of the bay, and came early next morning to a low green island inhabited by nothing but rabbits and a few goats. But from the ruins of the stone huts and from blackened places where fires had been, they judged that it had been peopled not long before. There were also some bones and broken weapons.
Pirates' work.
Or the dragons.
The only other thing they found was a coracle, a little skin boat on the sands. It was made of hide, stretched over a wicker framework. They thought that either it had been made for a child, or else that the people of that country had been dwarfs. Reepicheep decided to keep it, as it was just the right size for him. They called that island Burnt Island, and sailed away before noon. For some 5 days they ran before a southeast wind, out of sight of all lands, and seeing neither fish nor gull. Then they had a day that rained hard till the afternoon. Later, Lucy stepped onto the deck and looked astern.
Hello, Captain.
My lady.
What are those things coming up out of the water?
I don't know. I've been keeping my eye on them.
Is it some sort of rock formation?
No,
Why not?
because it wasn't there 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
I say, we've just seen the strangest thing.
Over there, off the port bow.
Can you see it?
Yes, we're watching now.
Oh, one's just disappeared.
And there's another one coming up.
And nearer.
Oh.
Oh, hang it, the whole thing's moving this way.
And moving a great deal quicker than we can sail, sire. It'll be up with us in a minute.
They all held their breath, for it is not at all nice to be pursued by an unknown something, either on land or sea. But what it turned out to be was far worse than anyone had suspected. Suddenly, from their port side, an appalling head reared itself out of the sea. It was all greens and vermilions, with purple blotches, and shaped rather like a horse, though without ears. It had enormous eyes made for staring through the dark depths of the ocean, and a gaping mouth filled with double rows of sharp, fish-like teeth.
Stand back!
It came up on what they first took to be a huge neck, but as more and more of it emerged, everyone knew that this was not its neck, but its body. And at last they were seeing what so many people have foolishly wanted to see, a great sea serpent. The folds of its gigantic tail could be seen far away, rising at intervals from the surface, and now its head was towering up higher than the mast.
To your weapons, men! To your weapons! Then fire your arrows, quickly!
The arrows glanced off the sea serpent's hide as if it was iron-plated. And then for a dreadful minute everyone was still, staring up at its eyes and mouth, and wondering where it would pounce.
Brace yourselves, everyone! Be ready!
But it didn't pounce. It shot its head forward until its body created an arch over the back end of the ship. Then down its head began to come, not onto the crowded deck, but into the water again. All at once, the arch of the serpent began to get smaller.
What in blazes is the thing doing? Don't you see? The brute has made a loop of itself around the ship and is drawing the loop tight.
We'll be floating matchward if we don't do something.
What are we going to do?
Well, I'm not going to stand here.
Eustace now did the first brave thing he had ever done. He was wearing a sword that Caspian had lent him. As soon as the serpent's body was near enough on the starboard side, he jumped up on the bulwark and began hacking at it with all his might. It accomplished nothing beyond breaking Caspian's second-best sword to bits, but it was a fine thing for a beginner to have done. Others would have joined him if at that moment Reepicheep had not called out,
Don't fight it! Push!
Push!
Push on the body of the serpent to move the ship out from under its loop! Push!
It was so unusual for the mouse to advise anyone not to fight that even in that terrible moment, every eye turned to him. And when he jumped up on the bulwark forward of the snake and set his furry little back against its huge, scaly, slimy back and began pushing as hard as he could, quite a number of people saw what he meant and rushed to both sides of the ship to do the same. The whole ship's company was in two long lines along the two bulwarks, pushing on the loop of the serpent's body with all their might. For a few sickening seconds, nothing appeared to happen. Joints cracked, sweat dropped, breath came in grunts and gasps. Then they felt that the ship was moving. They saw that the snake loop was further from the mast than it had been, but they also saw that the loop was getting smaller.
Harder! Faster! It's closing in on us!
Hope rose high until everyone remembered the decorative dragon's tail that made up the rear of the ship. It would be quite impossible to get the brute's body over that.
Someone get an axe! We'll hack the stern off and keep pushing!
But it was too late. There came a great crashing noise, like a tree coming down, and the ship rocked and darted forward. For at that very moment, whether because the sea serpent was being pushed so hard, or because it foolishly decided to draw the loop tight, the whole of the carved stern broke off and the ship was free.
Hold on, everyone! Hold on!
A few yards behind them, the loop of the sea serpent's body got rapidly smaller and disappeared with a splash.
To your stations! Let's get clear of the creature before it realizes it has caught us!
The The simple fact is the sea serpent was a very stupid creature. For instead of pursuing the ship, it turned its head around and began nosing all along its own body as if it expected to find the wreckage of the Dawn Treader there. But the Dawn Treader was already well away, running before a fresh breeze. And the men lay and sat, panting and groaning all about the deck. Later, drinks were served out, and they even raised a cheer, praising the valor of Eustace, though it hadn't done any good, and of Reepicheep.
Land! At last. How does it look, Drinian?
I see a harbour where we can anchor, and it appears to have 2 streams coming into the bay. What's your pleasure, sire?
We'll anchor as you said and row ashore with all our water casks. They're nearly empty.
Make ready the boat for a landing party.
After anchoring the Dawn Treader, Drinian took some of the crew ashore to fill the water casks as planned. Caspian, Eustace, Lucy, Edmund and Reepicheep decided to explore the small island. After a long climb through coarse grass and heather, they came to the source of the second of the 2 rivers. It was a deep mountain lake, surrounded by cliffs, except for a narrow channel on the seaward side, out of which the water flowed. They all sat down in the heather for a rest.
Ow! They go for sharp stones on this island. Where is the wretched thing? Now I've got it. Oh, hello. It isn't a stone at all. It's a sword hilt.
A sword hilt? Up here?
No. By Jove, it's a whole sword. What the rust's left of it. It must have lain here for ages.
Narnian too, by the look of it.
Oh, I'm sitting on something too. Something hard.
Oh, it's the remains of a mail shirt.
Dig, everyone. There's more to be found.
I have found a helmet, sire.
Here's a dagger.
A few coins.
They are definitely Narnian.
Such as you might see any day in the marketplace of Beavers Dam or Baruna.
Do you think this might be all that's left of one of our 7 lords?
I wonder. Well, there's nothing on the dagger to show us who it was.
I wonder how he died.
And how we are to avenge him.
Oh, look here. There's something very fishy about this. He can't have been killed in a fight.
Why not?
No bones. An enemy might take the armour and leave the body, but whoever heard of a chap who'd won a fight, carrying away the body and leaving the armour?
Well, perhaps he was killed by a wild animal.
It'd have to be a very clever animal that would take a man's mail shirt off.
Perhaps a dragon?
No, a dragon couldn't do it. I ought to know.
Well, let's get away from this place anyway. I don't particularly like the idea of sitting on anyone's bones. If they happen to be here somewhere.
If you like. I don't think any of this stuff's worth taking anyway.
I'd like to have a drink from that lake first. It's so hot, and the water's so clear.
It is indeed. And I, for one, would be tempted to... Oh, look. There, on the bottom.
Oh, is it the body of a man?
Yes, in the sense that it's a statue of a man.
A gold statue from the looks of it.
Well, that was worth coming to see. I wonder if we can get it out.
We can dive for it, sire.
No good at all. At least, if it's really gold, solid gold, it'll be far too heavy to bring up. And that pool's 12 or 15 feet deep if it's an inch. Half a moment, though. May I borrow your hunting spear, Caspian?
Of course.
Let's see what the depth is like. Hold on to my hand, Caspian. I'll lean out over the water a bit and put the spear in.
Oh, look at the spear.
It looks gold too.
It must be the light. It makes everything that goes into the water look gold. Oh.
My spear! Why did you drop it?
I couldn't hold it. It seemed so heavy.
And there it is on the bottom now. Lucy's right. It looks just the same colour as the statue.
My boots! Get back! Get back from the water!
What in the world is the panic, Edmund?
Look at the toes of my boots.
They look a bit yellow.
They were in the water, and now they're gold. Solid gold. Look at them. They're as heavy as lead.
By Aslan, you don't mean to say that...
Yes, I do. That water turns things into gold. It turned the spear into gold, and that's why it got so heavy. And it was just lapping up my feet, and it turned the toe caps into gold. And that poor fellow on the bottom... Well, he obviously had undressed on the shore and dived into the water. And, well, you see...
Oh, and to think I nearly drank some of it.
What a narrow escape we've had.
Narrow indeed. Anyone's finger, anyone's foot, anyone's whisker or tail might have slipped into the water at any moment.
All the same, I'd like to test it. I'll try some of that heather. There. Well, I'm amazed.
You see, it's a perfect model of heather, but made of pure gold.
The king who owned this island would soon be the richest king of all the kings of the world.
Yes.
I claim this land forever as a Narnian possession, belonging to Caspian, king of Narnia, and all his heirs. I'll call it Goldwater Island.
Hang on. Who do you think you're talking to? I'm no subject of yours. If anything, it's the other way round. I am one of the 4 ancient sovereigns of Narnia, and you are under allegiance to the High King, my brother.
Oh, I see. King Edmund. Your Highness wants the gold for himself.
Seeing as I discovered that the lake turns things into gold, then I think it's only fair
You discovered it. I beg to differ. It was my spear.
Oh, stop it, both of you. That's the worst of doing anything with boys. You're all such swaggering, bullying idiots, and I... Oh. Aslan!
Aslan!
Where?
Across the lake.
He's so huge.
Shall we venture over to give him greeting?
Oh, yes, we... Oh. He's gone.
Did you see which way he went?
No.
It was almost as if he were a dream.
But we all saw him.
Oh, yes, What were we talking about? Before, I mean.
Odd. I don't remember.
I have a terrible feeling I've been making rather a fool of myself.
So have I. But what was the reason?
Sire, this is obviously a place with a curse on it. Let us get back on board at once. And if I might have the honour of naming this island, I should call it Deathwater.
That strikes me as a very good name, Reed.
Yes.
Though, now that I come to think of it, I don't know why. But, I dare say that Drinian has finished filling the casks of water and is ready to be off. Let's go back to the ship.
Deathwater Island and what happened there faded on the horizon as the winds, which had so long been from the northwest, began to blow from the west itself. Every morning when the sun rose out of the sea, the curved prow of the Dawn Treader stood up right across the middle of the sun. Some thought the sun looked larger than it looked from Narnia, but others disagreed. And they sailed and sailed before a gentle yet steady breeze, and saw neither fish, nor gull, nor ship, nor shore. And stores began to get low again, and it crept into their hearts that perhaps they might have come to a sea which went on forever. But when the very last day on which they thought they could risk continuing their eastward voyage dawned, it showed, right ahead between them and the sunrise, a low land lying like a cloud. They made harbour in a wide bay the next morning and landed.
Well, sire, what do you think of this place?
It's so quiet and empty. Do you suppose it's uninhabited?
I would think so. Except for the grass.
What about it?
It's as level and as smooth and short as if a gardener cared for it.
Yes, and look at the trees, the way they're spaced, as if they were planted that way, not wildly.
Your Highness, there's a path here.
Oh.
Yes, there's no mistaking it. There must be someone here somewhere.
Yes. Well, it's not a path. It's an avenue.
And there's a house up ahead.
So it is. I suppose we'd better go and introduce ourselves.
Oh, I have something in my shoe. A stone, I think. You go on. I'll catch up.
All right. But shout if you need us.
I will.
Do you suppose it's the home of one of our missing lords?
I wouldn't be surprised.
There would be a knot in the lace.
I think we should head for that gate.
Oh, come on. Don't be stubborn. There. What's that noise? Oh, I say.
What she heard was a thumping, and it was quickly coming nearer. She was already sitting with her back to a tree, and as the tree was not one she could climb, there was really nothing to do but sit dead still and press herself against the tree and hope she wouldn't be seen.
All right, mates. Now's our chance. What I say is, get down to the shore between them and their boat, and let every mother's son look to his weapons. Catch them when they try to put to sea. Lively, then, mates. Oh, off we go.
Oh no! Oh no! I have to find the others.
Invisible enemies? And cutting us off from the boat?
Yes.
Well, this is an ugly furrow to plough.
You've no idea what sort of creatures they are, Lou.
How can I when I couldn't see them?
Did they sound like humans from their footsteps?
Like I told you, I didn't hear any noises of feet, only voices and this frightful thudding and thumping like a mallet pounding on the ground.
I wonder, do they become visible when you drive a sword into them?
It looks as if we shall find out. Now, here's an idea. Captain Drinian, how would it be if we gave up the landing boat for lost, went down to another part of the bay, and signalled the Dawn Treader to stand in and take us aboard?
The water isn't deep enough for her, sire.
We could swim.
Your Majesties all, hear me. It is folly to think of avoiding an invisible enemy by any amount of creeping and skulking. If these creatures mean to bring us to battle, be sure they will. And whatever comes of it, I'd sooner meet them face to face than be caught by the tail.
True.
I really think Reapercheap is in the right this time.
But surely if the crew on the Dawn Treader see us fighting on the shore, then they'll be able to do something.
But they won't see us fighting if they can't see any enemy. They'll think we're just swinging our swords in the air for fun.
Right. Well, let's get on with it. We must go and face them. Shake hands all round. Arrow on the string, Lucy. Swords out, everyone else. And now, to the boat.
To the boat, sire.
It looks deserted.
I won't believe it until we're on the boat and away.
Should we make a dash for it?
No further, masters, no further now. We want to talk to you. There's 50 of us and more here with weapons in our fists.
I do not see these 50 warriors.
That's right, you don't see us. And why not? Because we're invisible.
You invisible people! What do you want with us? And what have we done to earn your enmity?
We want something that little girl can do for us.
Little girl? The lady is a queen.
We don't know about queens, but we want something she can do.
How dare you!
What is it?
And if it is anything against Her Majesty's honour or safety, you will wonder to see how many we can kill before we die.
Well, suppose we all sit down while I explain.
Sit, if you will. We prefer to stand.
Yes.
As you wish. Well, it's like this. This island has been the property of a great magician time out of mind, and we all are, or perhaps in a manner of speaking I might say, we were his servants.
Look here. I don't mind listening to your story, but could you tell it without so many interruptions? We'll be here all day otherwise.
What? Interruptions? I don't know what you mean.
Oh, never mind.
Well, to cut a long story short, this magician told us to do something we didn't like. He fell into a great rage, for he wasn't used to being crossed. He was terribly downright, you know. So the magician went upstairs to where he kept all his magic things, and he put a spell on us. An uglifying spell. If you saw us now, which in my opinion you may thank your stars you can't, you wouldn't believe what we looked like before we were uglified. So we waited till we thought the magician was asleep in the afternoon, and we crept upstairs to look in his magic book to see if we could do anything about this uglification. But we were all of a sweat and a tremble, and we couldn't find anything in the way of a spell for taking off the ugliness. And what with time getting on and being afraid that the magician might wake up any minute, we saw a spell for making people invisible. We thought being invisible would be better than being ugly. So my sweet daughter, a girl just about your age, said the spell. For it's got to be a little girl, or else the magician himself, don't ask me why, or it won't work. So, my Clipsy says the spell, for she reads beautifully, my daughter. Yeah, and there we all were, as invisible as you could wish to see. And I do assure you, it was a relief not to see one another's faces.
Better invisible than ugly.
Yeah, but the long and short of it is, we're tired of being invisible.
Hey, we're gonna burst, but we're tired.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. We never reckoned on this magician going invisible too. But we haven't ever seen him since, so we don't know if he's dead or gone away, or whether he's just sitting upstairs being invisible, and perhaps coming down and being invisible there. Believe me, there's no manner of use listening, because he always did go about in his bare feet, making no more noise than a great big cat. And I tell you straight, it's getting more than what our nerves can stand.
But what has all this got to do with us? I don't understand.
Oh, boy, bless me if I haven't gone and left out the whole point. Well, to put it in a nutshell, we've been waiting for ever so long for a nice little girl from foreign parts, just like you, Missy, that would go upstairs and go to the magic book and find the spell that takes off the invisibleness and say it. And we all swore that the first strangers as landed on this island, having a nice little girl with them, I mean, we wouldn't let them go away alive unless they'd done the needful for us.
Oh.
And that's why, gentlemen, if your little girl doesn't come up to scratch, it will be our painful duty to cut all your throats. Merely in the way of business, you might say, and no offence, I hope.
I don't see your weapons. Are they invisible too?
That would be a spear, that is. And it came from my hand. They get visible when they leave us.
Yes, I can certainly see that plain enough. Any other questions, Reapy Cheap?
Not at the moment, sire.
But why do you want me to do this? Why can't one of your own people?
That's right. Your daughter got you into this. Why can't she go back upstairs, read the spell, and get you out?
Oh, no, we can't go upstairs again. No, dangerous.
In other words, you're asking this lady to face some danger which you daren't ask your own sisters and daughters to face.
That is right.
Right. All the outrageous.
Would I have to go upstairs at night? Or would it be done in daylight?
Oh, good daylight, to be sure, not at night. No one's asking you to do that. No. No.
Well, all right then. I'll do it.
Oh, I knew she would.
It's too dangerous.
No, Lucy, you can't.
Don't try to stop me. Can't you see it's no use? There's dozens of them. We can't fight them. And by doing what they want, there is a chance.
But a magician.
Oh, look here, Lou. We really can't let you do a thing like this.
But it's to save my own life as well as yours. I don't want to be cut into bits by invisible swords any more than anyone else.
Her Majesty is in the right. If we had any assurance of saving her by battle, our duty would be very plain. It appears to me that we have none. And the service they ask of her is in no way contrary to Her Majesty's honour, but a noble and heroical act. If the Queen's heart moves her to risk the magician, I will not speak against it.
There, you see? Even Reapy Cheap agrees.
I still don't like it.
Neither do I. But let me do it and get it over with.
The invisible people insisted on treating their guests to a meal on the bottom floor of the house where they lived. Only then did Lucy and the rest realize that the invisible people didn't walk, but progressed in a series of jumps and bounds.
I say, Edmund, do you think they're human at all? More like huge grasshoppers or giant frogs, I should say.
It does seem like it. Don't put the idea of grasshoppers into Lucy's head. She's not too keen on insects, especially big ones.
The meal would have been pleasanter if it hadn't been exceedingly messy. The jumping and bounding of the invisible people made carrying plates of soup and stew rather disastrous. After the meal, the chief voice instructed Lucy about what she had to do upstairs.
And go to the magic book.
She then bid goodbye to the others,
Bye.
walked to the bottom of the stairs, and began going up them without once looking back. At the top of the stairs, Lucy looked and saw a long, wide passage with a large window at the far end. Apparently the passage ran the whole length of the house. It was carved and panelled and carpeted, and very many doors opened off on each side.
The last doorway on the left. That's what the chief said. The last doorway on the left.
To reach it, she had to walk past every room. And in any room there might be the magician, asleep or awake or invisible or even dead. But it wouldn't do to think about that. She set out on her journey. The carpet was so thick that her feet made no noise.
There's nothing whatever to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. Yet.
It was a quiet, sunlit passage, perhaps too quiet, and it would have been nicer if there'd not been strange signs painted in scarlet on the doors, twisty, complicated things, which obviously had a meaning, and it mightn't be a very nice meaning either. It would have been nicer still if there weren't those masks hanging on the wall. Not that they were exactly ugly, but the empty eye holes did look strange. And if you let yourself, you'd soon start imagining that the masks were doing things as soon as your back was turned.
Will this passageway never end?
She finally reached the last door on the left. The door was open. It was a large room with 3 big windows, and it was lined from floor to ceiling with books. More books than Lucy had ever seen before. But she knew from her instructions that she needn't bother about any of them, for the book, the magic book, was lying on a reading desk in the very middle of the room. She saw that she would have to read it standing, and also that she would have to stand with her back to the door while she read it. So at once she turned to shut the door. It wouldn't shut. This made her worried. One other thing that worried her a good deal was the size of the book. The chief had not been able to give her any idea whereabouts in the book the spell for making things visible came.
Oh, But with a book this size, it might take me days and weeks. And I feel already as if I've been in this place for hours.
She went up to the desk and laid her hand on the book.
Oh.
Her fingers tingled when she touched it.
Oh.
She tried to open it but couldn't at first. This, however, was only because it was fastened by 2 leaden clasps. And when she'd undone these, it opened easily enough. And what a book it was! It was written, not printed, in a clear, even hand with thick downstrokes and thin upstrokes, very large, easier than print, and so beautiful that Lucy stared at it for a whole minute and forgot about reading it. There was no title page or title. The spells began straight away, and at first there was nothing very important in them. There were cures for warts and toothache and cramp, and a spell for making a swarm of bees. The pictures accompanying the spells were so lifelike that Lucy thought for a moment that the bees in the 4th spell were really flying. Lucy could hardly tear herself away from that first page, but when she turned over, the next was just as interesting.
Oh, but I must get on.
She went on another 30 pages, which, if she could have remembered them, would have taught her how to find buried treasure, how to remember things forgotten, how to forget things you don't want to remember, how to tell whether anyone was speaking the truth, how to call up or prevent wind, fog, snow, sleet, or rain, how to produce enchanted sleep. And the longer she read, the more wonderful and real the pictures became. Then she came to a page which was such a blaze of pictures that one hardly noticed the writing. Hardly, but she did notice the first words.
An infallible spell to make beautiful her that uttereth it beyond the lot of mortals.
Lucy peered at the pictures with her face close to the page, and though they seemed crowded and muddlesome before, she found she could now see them quite clearly. The first was a picture of a girl standing at a reading desk reading in a huge book, and the girl was dressed exactly like Lucy. In the next picture, Lucy, for the girl was Lucy, was standing up with her mouth open and a rather terrible expression on her face, chanting or reciting something. In the third picture, the beauty beyond the lot of mortals had come to her. It was strange, considering how small the pictures had looked at first, that the Lucy in the picture now seemed quite as big as the real Lucy. And they looked into each other's eyes, and the real Lucy looked away after a few minutes because she was dazzled by the beauty of the other Lucy, though she could still see a sort of likeness to herself in that beautiful face. And now the pictures came crowding on her thick and fast. She saw herself throned on high at a great tournament in Colorman, and all the kings of the world fought because of her beauty. After that it turned from tournaments to real wars, and all the countries, even Narnia and Archenland, were laid waste with the fury of the kings and dukes and great lords who fought for her favor. Then it changed, and Lucy, still beautiful beyond the lot of mortals, was back in England. And Susan, who'd always been the beauty of the family, was jealous of the dazzling beauty of Lucy, but that didn't matter a bit because no one cared anything about Susan now.
I will say the spell. I don't care. I will.
But when she looked back at the opening words of the spell, there, in the middle of the writing, where she felt quite sure there'd been no picture before, she found the great face of a lion. The lion, Aslan himself, staring into her face. It was painted such a bright gold that it seemed to be coming towards her out of the page. And indeed she was never quite sure afterwards that it hadn't really moved a little. At any rate, she knew the expression of the face quite well. He was growling, and you could see most of his teeth. She became horribly afraid and turned over the page at once. A little while later, she came to a spell which would let you know what your friends thought about you. Because Lucy didn't try the spell that made you beautiful beyond the lot of mortals, she decided she would say this one. And all in a hurry, for fear her mind would change, she said the words and then waited for something to happen.
Well?
And all at once the pictures in the book came to life.
Oh.
And she saw the very last thing she expected. The picture of a third-class carriage in a train with two of her friends from school sitting in it. She knew them at once, Marjorie Preston and Anne Featherstone. And gradually she could hear that they were talking about her.
Are you still going to be all taken up with Lucy Pevensey? Don't know what you mean by taken up. Oh, yes you do. You were crazy about her last term.
No, I wasn't. I've got more sense than that. Not a bad little kid in her way, but I was getting pretty tired of her before the end of term.
Well, you jolly well won't have the chance any other term, two-faced little beast. I did think better of her than that, and I did all sorts of things for her last term, and I stuck to her when not many other girls would, and she knows it too. Oh, and to Anne Featherstone of all people. Oh, I wonder, are all my friends the same?
There were more pictures, but Lucy decided not to look at them.
What if all my friends are the same? What if they all talk about me that way?
With a great effort, she turned over the page, but not before a large, angry tear had splashed on it. On the next page, she came to a spell for the refreshment of the spirit. The pictures were fewer here, but very beautiful.
Oh.
And what Lucy found herself reading was more like a story than a spell. It went on for 3 pages, and before she'd read to the bottom of the page, she'd forgotten that she was reading at all. She was living in the story as if it were real. And all the pictures were real, too.
Oh, my.
When she got to the 3rd page and come to the end, she said,
Oh, that was the loveliest story I've ever read, or ever shall read in my whole life. Oh, I wish I could have gone on reading it for 10 years. At least I can read it over again now.
But here, part of the magic of the book came into play. You couldn't turn back. The right-hand pages, the ones ahead, could be turned. The left-hand pages could not.
Oh, what a shame. I did so want to read it again. Well, at least I must remember it. Let's see. It was about... Oh dear, it's all fading away again. And even this last page is going blank. This is a very strange book. How can I have forgotten? It was about a cup, and a sword, and a tree, and a green hill. I know that much, but I can't remember. And what shall I do?
And she never could remember. And ever since that day, what Lucy means by a good story is a story which reminds her of the forgotten story in the magician's book.
Now what's this? Oh, a spell to make hidden things visible. This must be the one.
So she read the spell through to make sure of all the hard words and then said it out loud. And she knew at once that it was working because as she spoke, the colours came into the capital letters at the top of the page and the pictures began appearing in the margins. They were odd pictures and contained many figures that Lucy didn't much like the look of. And then she thought,
I suppose I've made everything visible, and not only the thumpers downstairs. Oh, There might be lots of other invisible things hanging around a place like this, and I'm not sure I want to see them all.
At that moment, she heard soft, heavy footfalls coming along the corridor behind her. And of course she remembered what she'd been told about the magician walking in his bare feet and making no more noise than a cat. It's always better to turn round than to have anything creeping up behind your back. Lucy did so. Then her face lit up, and for a moment she looked almost as beautiful as that other Lucy in the picture. She ran forward with a little cry of delight and with her arms stretched out, for what stood in the doorway was the lion, the highest of all high kings.
Oh, Aslan! Oh, Aslan! Aslan!
My child.
Oh. Aslan, it was so kind of you to come.
Oh, I've been here all the time, but you have just made me visible.
Aslan, don't make fun of me, as if anything I could do would make you visible.
Oh, it did. Don't you think I wouldn't obey my own rules? But, child, I think you have been eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping?
You listened to what your two friends on the train were saying about you.
Oh, that. I never thought that was eavesdropping. Wasn't it by magic?
Spying on people by magic is the same as spying on them in any other way.
Yes.
And you have misjudged your friends. They are weak and were only trying to impress each other at your expense. But they really love you.
I don't think I'll ever be able to forget what I heard them say.
No, you won't.
Oh dear. Have I spoiled everything? Do you mean to say we would have gone on being friends if it hadn't been for this? And been really great friends, all our lives perhaps? And now we never shall?
Child, did I not explain to you once before that no one is ever told what would have happened?
Yes, Aslan, you did. I'm sorry. But please,
Speak on, dear heart.
shall I ever be able to read that story again? The one I couldn't remember? Will you tell it to me, Aslan? Oh, do. Please do.
Indeed, yes. I will tell it to you for years and years.
Oh, thank you.
But now, come.
Where are we going?
We must meet the master of this house.
Lucy followed the great lion out into the passage, and at once she saw, coming towards them, an old man, barefoot, dressed in a red robe. His white hair was crowned with a chaplet of oak leaves, his beard fell to his girdle, and he supported himself with a curiously carved staff. When he saw Aslan, he bowed low.
Welcome, Aslan, to the least of your houses.
Do you grow weary, Karyakin, of ruling such foolish subjects as I have given you here?
No, they are rather stupid, but there's no real harm in them. I begin to grow rather fond of the creatures. Sometimes, perhaps, I am a little impatient, waiting for the day when they can be governed by wisdom instead of this rough magic.
All in good time, Karyakin.
Do you intend to show yourself to them?
Nay, I should frighten them out of their senses. Many stars will grow old and come to take their rest in islands before your people are ripe for that. And today, before sunset, I must visit Trumpkin the dwarf, where he sits in the castle at Cair Paravel, counting the days till his master Caspian comes home. I will tell him your story, Lucy.
But, Aslan...
Do not look so sad. We shall meet soon again.
Please, Aslan, what do you call soon?
I call all times soon.
Oh.
He's gone again. And you and I, quite crestfallen. It's always like that. You can't keep him. It's not as if he were a tame lion. And now, child, how did you enjoy my book?
Oh, parts of it very much indeed. Did you know I was there all the time?
Well, of course, I knew when I let the Duffers make themselves invisible that you would be coming along presently to take the spell off. I wasn't quite sure of the exact day. And I wasn't especially on the watch today. You see, they had made me invisible too. And being invisible always makes me sleepy. Oh, hey-ho. There, I'm yawning again.
When will the spell work? Will the Duffers be visible again at once?
Oh, yes. They're visible now.
Oh.
But they're probably all asleep still. They always take a rest in the middle of the day.
Now that they're visible, are you going to let them stay ugly? Or will you make them as they were before?
That's rather a delicate question. You see, they're the only ones who think they were nice to look at before. They say they've been uglified, but that isn't what I called it. Many people might say the change was for the better.
Oh, are they awfully conceited then?
They are. Or at least the Chief Duffer is, and he's taught all the rest to be. They always believe every word he says.
We've noticed.
Yes, we'd get on better without him, in a way. Of course, I could turn him into something else, or even put a spell on him which would make them not believe a word he said. But I don't like to do that. It's better for them to admire him than to admire nobody.
But don't they admire you?
Oh, not me. They wouldn't admire me.
Why did you make them ugly? I mean, what they call ugly.
Well, they wouldn't do what they were told.
Oh.
Their work is to mind the garden and raise the food. Not for me, as they imagine, but for themselves. They wouldn't do it at all if I didn't make them. And of course, for a garden, you want water. There is a beautiful spring about half a mile away up the hill. And from that spring, there flows a stream which runs right past the garden. All I wanted them to do was to take their water from the stream, instead of trudging up to the spring with their buckets 2 or 3 times a day and tiring themselves out, besides spilling half of it on the way back. But they wouldn't see it. In the end, they refused, point blank.
Are they as stupid as all that?
Oh, you wouldn't believe the troubles I've had with them. But let's go to the window and look at the Duffers, now that they can be looked at. There are your Duffers.
I don't see anybody. All I can see are those mushroom things.
Those aren't mushrooms. Those are the sleeping Duffers.
Oh.
Look more closely. What you think are the tops of the mushrooms are actually their feet.
Feet?
Well, foot, I should say. Each Duffer has only 1 leg and 1 foot. Each one is so large, a Duffer sleeps under it to keep away the sun and rain.
Oh.
Ah, watch. The clock will strike 3 and the Duffers will awake. Here, I'll open the window.
So the thumping sound is because they only have 1 leg and 1 foot and have to jump around?
Yes.
Oh, they look so funny. Did you make them like that?
Yes, I made the duffers into monopods.
Look, lads, we're visible again.
Visible we are! And what I say is, when chaps are visible, why, they can see one another. She called the old man nappy, that little girl did. We've beaten him this time.
But do they dare talk about you like that? They seemed to be so afraid of you yesterday. Don't they know you might be listening?
That's one of the funny things about the duffers. One minute they talk as if I ran everything and overheard everything and was extremely dangerous. The next moment they think they can take me in by tricks that a baby would see through. Bless them.
But what were they like before?
Common little dwarfs. Nothing as nice as the sort you have in Narnia, though.
Oh, they're so funny. And they're rather nice. Do you think it would make any difference if I told them so?
I'm sure it would. If you could only get it into their heads.
Will you come with me and try?
No. You'll get on far better without me.